Georges, Prince Georges. This is the one and only
Shattered Illusionz podcast.
Illustrious.
Yes, sir.
Soon to be world famous.
World famous. Most controversial.
Shattered Illusionz podcast, man. And I'm excited for this episode tonight, man. We got a really good guest for you guys. But first, a couple of things, announcements. Guys, I promised myself I would never be this person that's saying like the damn video when I started a YouTube channel. But please, guys, like the video, comment, subscribe, all that other stuff. It really helps out in the algorithm. And I didn't understand that until I actually became a YouTuber. So make sure you guys do that. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Shattered Illusionz. And Oliver, tell them about the girls and everything like that.
And guys, also too, one more social media platform. We're also going to be on Rumble as well. So we're going to get that link up and ready for you guys this next week coming up. So make sure you subscribe over there in case we get canceled. And then the next thing is all the beautiful ladies in the DMV area. If you are interested in being a part of the crew before we blow up, like I said, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to the podcast. We're looking for a crew full of ladies. We have a good team together, and we're looking for a couple more. So if you want to be a part of the come up, let us know. All right. Or if you'd like to be on the show.
With that being said, I'll check on my boys. Oliver, you already spoke, but how you doing tonight, bro?
Hey man, I'm doing perfect, man. Doing perfect. I'm ready for it.
Also, we got a man that I don't even know anymore. I always say this man, but my producer is back in the fucking scene.
Yes, sir.
Take him to the cranky.
See, y'all messing up already, man.
Why is that?
This man has been gone since what? Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
I
was on vacation.
I ain't even gonna say nothing, man. But hey, Will's back, man. We appreciate you coming back and everything.
Yeah.
But for the very special guest of the night, man, before I even introduce him, I always say we show love to those that show love to us. This guy's been liking everything, following us on Instagram, commenting and all that. And we always want to make sure we show love to those that show love to us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce a man who's a real estate agent, content creator, and also has his own podcast called Meeting VA. Without further ado, let me introduce the one and only Lenny Rich.
Well, let's take him to the cranky.
Lenny, bro, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty well. Doing fantastic.
Thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to come down here and be with us, man, because I just know how important time is. You can't get time back. So you could be doing anything on a Friday night, but you sitting down here with the Shattered Illusionz podcast, and we appreciate you, bro. Like, real talk.
Yeah, I seen your IG, man. You could be chilling with the ladies and nothing like that, but you chose to come over here and be with us, so we appreciate that.
Listen, Lenny got so many girls. I'm getting a little bit jealous. I'm not gonna lie,
man. Look, I seen he had on like this 3-piece suit the other day. I said, "Dang, man, he was chilling with a little badge on." I was like, "Oh snap!"
These guys out here trying to get me in trouble.
Listen, we ain't gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, we ain't do it. I was talking about the other Lenny. Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Bruce. But anyway, Lenny, bro, before we get started and everything, can you do like a little bit of an elevator pitch on like who you are, what you do, and things like that before we get down to the nitty gritty?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, before I do it, I want to say thank you guys for letting me come on the podcast. The studio is super professional by far, like one of the best studios I've ever seen.
I appreciate that, brother.
Thank you, bro.
So I want to say thank you for
that.
But yeah, I go by Leviticus Rich, real estate agent, serial entrepreneur. What else? Trying to teach people the way of eudaimonia. That's what I go by.
Yeah, because I kind of been seeing a lot of your content, bro, and you kind of go by a lot of tenets that we go by as far as, self-improvement, masculinity, and just kind of trying to fight this, what I would call cancel culture now, bro. So, don't ever think that the work that you do goes unnoticed, unappreciated, man. We really appreciate what you're doing and things like that. So, just real quick, man, let's start with the beginning, the genesis of Lenny Rich. Where'd you grow up? How were your parents? Things like that.
Yeah. So, from West Philly.
Born and raised. On the playground is where I spend most of my on that.
Yeah, from West Philly though. Pretty good upbringing overall, middle class, nothing super special.
Okay, two-parent household.
Two-parent household.
Okay,
awesome, bro.
Yeah, two-parent household, nothing super special. Parents not rich, but they put food on the table. Had a house. I can't complain.
Yeah, not rich, not poor. It's like
yeah,
we just this there. Okay,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, pretty normal. I would say relatively normal upbringing for the most part. I would say one of the things that was unique, interesting about me is I went to an all boys school. So you go to an all boys school, it definitely changes the way you think about like relationships and girls and guys, and I don't know, you go from like a high school with all boys to I went to Penn State where there's a lot of girls.
Yeah.
And you see how guys will like switch up, or you'll see like a girl might come in, dude might try to like betray you. I don't know how deep.
No, speak on it. Speak on it. That's what the hell we talk about here.
On, bro.
Yeah. So you see like the dynamics
Mhm.
are different when you have like just guys around versus when you introduce even like one girl. The competitive nature of men comes out, which is fine. That's how it is. It's very different.
Yeah, it is. And I can say definitely coming from an all boys school, saying that you went through there through high school. You know, our school was huge. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of girls. It's good to learn those lessons because a lot of times you think that life is one way. And like you said, female sexuality is one of the most powerful things, if not the most powerful thing on this earth. So I'm pretty sure that was a shock value for you when you got to Penn State and you seen guys switch up and just say, nah, bro, we together. Next thing you know, they in front of a bitch. Nah, I don't really know him, baby. You know what I'm saying? I just hang with him on the weekends.
So before I pass it back to Lenny, bro, like I always say, you should hire slow and fire fast. So before I can call any man my friend, I always say, I need to see how you act around women and money, bro, because money and women make a lot of dudes switch up very fast, man. So it's just kind of important that you even saw that lesson. So you were in an all boys school, like up until high school. How'd that work?
So high school was an all boys school. It was like a prep, like a college prep.
Okay, yeah.
High school. So, but to me, it was interesting looking back on it because I feel like that high school, those 4 years is like a formative period, especially in a man's life, in anyone's life, but especially in a man's life. So I feel like you go from like 14 to 17 or 18.
Yeah, you pretty much come in as a child. You figure you might come in. Some people come in as young as 13, and then you figure you leave 18 or 17. Yeah, you know, that's a lot to go through. Yeah, in those years.
Yeah. Then you go to Penn State where like I didn't know like any girls in high school, which is weird because I didn't even like the block I lived on. There were no people my age.
Okay.
So I'm used to like going to school with all boys. You come home, it's your parents. I don't have any siblings, so it's just your parents. I'm not close with my cousins or anything like that. So it's just like, oh.
So what was it like when you went to your first? Because Penn State, that's a D1 school. That's a huge campus. I know a lot of people that went to Penn State. Like that's
a party school.
Exactly. Yeah. So what was it like going to like your first party and just being around girls? What was some of the biggest things that you was like, whoa, like
this is a different world type stuff?
Yeah. Well, first seeing girls was a different world. But like first few parties I went to at Penn State, I'm still a nerd to this day, but I was a complete nerd, like didn't drink, didn't really party. I wanted to party, but I didn't actually I would be that guy in the corner just sitting there with like water in his hands, not saying anything to anybody, looking awkward and weird. And
now was it because you wanted to be that way? Some dudes want to be that way, or was it just because you were socially awkward with girls and stuff?
I was socially awkward.
Okay.
Like I couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't make eye contact. Girl comes up and even says hi. I'm
okay.
Like,
what out? And was it just with the girls, or it was like with the guys too, or it was just pretty much just the girls was like, whoa, like that kind of brought the social anxiety on?
If it was friends, it wouldn't come up.
Okay.
But if it was like strangers,
got you. Okay.
I had terrible social anxiety.
Okay.
But especially with girls.
Yeah.
And then the prettier the girl, the worse.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm telling you.
So I think one thing I'm kind of grateful for. I had this one roommate. Dude was like 6'7" basketball player.
Oh damn.
But he was like, I think he knew how awkward I was, and he tried to not like beat it out of me, but like force me to
get outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. Yeah. So I remember we went to this party, and it was a lingerie party at Penn State, and I'm there in the corner being awkward. Never drank before, never drank. And he comes up to me and he's like, yo, this is for you. And he gives me a bottle of Jack Daniels. And he's like, drink this. This is yours. Finish it. And I was like, fuck. Never even drank before. He started me off with Jack Daniels. Like, I didn't even know what Jack Daniels was. I never drank.
Right.
And I drank it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, damn.
Like
no, exactly.
Why
do
people like me?
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of the introduction to me drinking, introduction to me partying, and actually trying to get out of my comfort zone.
Okay. And obviously you did it, man, because like I said, I definitely see you now. You definitely seem like you're not really everybody has there may be strange in certain social situations, but I mean, I see you, man. You be out here, you be interacting, networking. Even me, you reached out to me, like you ain't no issues doing that. So
I'm trying out here.
I want to talk about that too, bro. So how, besides the 6'7" basketball player, how'd you overcome that social anxiety? Because I tell girls all the time, they don't realize like how nerve-wracking it is to be in front of a very attractive girl, let alone a group of girls.
Yeah.
So they don't understand that kind of like performance anxiety, for lack of a better word. So how'd you kind of overcome that social anxiety, become the person that you are now?
Yeah. So it took a while. It took a while in college. I would say it was kind of forced on me because about 3 years into college, I actually got kicked out.
Oh shit.
And it was for financial reasons. I was broke.
Okay.
So they kicked me out for not paying.
I'm about to say, dang, he went off the wall.
Yo,
This man said, yeah, I'm a badass now. Like,
But yeah, they kicked me out. I had to work at a gas station. And then you forced to it's like the first time I actually had a real job where I'm talking to strangers every day. And it was you get anxious the entire time. People come up, they're asking for cigarettes, all kinds of stuff. They get mad at you, they're yelling at you. So it's you kind of get forced to just get over it.
Right.
But at the same time, I never got over the whole like anxiety with girls. So at that time, I was like, I need to get better at just talking to people. So I started studying pickup to get over it.
Let's talk about it. Get into it.
Yeah, this is like I to be honest, for the past few years, I didn't really talk about the whole pickup thing because it's a weird.
yeah, people look at it like it's weird. And of course, if you tell a girl like, "Oh, I'm gonna be," you gotta pick up girls and all this other shit, you know. But they like TK say, they don't understand really how difficult it is. And even you got a lot of white knight males out there that pretty much they try to act like it's weird, but deep down they wish they could do what you do.
Bro,
Yeah.
pickup artistry gets a very bad reputation. But honestly, if I'm being honest, that stuff kind of saved my life because I started reading pickup stuff before I really even got into the red pill space, like the Bello Tomasi's and things like that. But my favorite book, the one that changed my life, was The Game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Neil Strauss.
freaking love that book. And like, people think that stuff wouldn't work because they're reading about it, you know. But like once you reading about it and actually implying it, it's two different things. And I think some of it is a little bit corny. I'm not going to lie to you, but the principles of just, you know, attracting a woman, saying bold things, being a little bit polarizing and playing around, bro, women love stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they just look at it to face value, like, and that's why I have an issue with the red pill community now. A lot of them is just about getting girls, but back then, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was more just male self-development,
Right.
How to deal with rejection, how to go up, how to introduce yourself, how to network, how to put yourself out there in front of a group. That's stuff that I still use in sales today. And I have to say that all the approaches that I make, because I was some garbage at first as well, terrible. I got drinks thrown in my face and everything. You know, I was terrible. But my thing was, with all that stuff, I feel like is the reason why when I started getting into sales jobs, I came from a teaching background. It was so easy for me to transition because I had those underlying principles. So people just look at it as, oh, you're getting chicks, but it's really just underlying male self-development. That's what it is.
yeah, absolutely.
And you kind of see, like, it gets a really bad rap because you hear about the Julian Blanc game, you know, banned from different countries and things like that. But the women who are actually around Julian, they always love him. They always do, bro.
That's
and
it.
like, when I'm against lying to women, because I think that some of the pickup stuff can be a little bit manipulative, but I think the point is to get to a point where, like, what they say, real game is no game. So it actually becomes a part of you.
Who's Julian?
So I was about to say that because you kind of took it back with that. You got to remember, you know, about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So Julian was a part of this group called RSD, Real Social Dynamics. So
Is that the guy with the crazy?
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, those guys were legit. They don't look like much, but hey, I wouldn't want my bitch around them back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Julian Blanc, he actually was like the Andrew Tate back then. He got canceled in a couple countries, had to go on a news podcast and, like, you know, apologize, all that good stuff. So it was like similar to what Andrew Tate is going through now, except it's on, I'll say, a little bit of a smaller scale.
He got canceled before cancel was a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, really.
Like, this was like 2015.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I heard about that.
Mhm.
He said something about women. And
it was something
people
about like it was talking about like fat girls and like forget fat girls and bang hotties or some shit like that. And he was kind of just getting into this loop where he would just constantly make fun of females, and you know, and to me, he wasn't making fun of them. He was just saying we don't want fat girls, pretty much. And you know, back then that's just too polarizing.
He was being honest.
Basically,
Yeah.
you know, you can't speak the truth nowadays.
Yeah.
So I said, apply. Hey, let's go on Rumble, please. Let's make sure you on Rumble. So yeah, but that's pretty much all it was. That was Julian Blanc. So pretty much just think of him as like Andrew Tate, kind of before Andrew Tate.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen him before.
Yeah, now he's into like self-development. He got married and everything now.
I didn't know he got married.
Yeah, he got married. Yeah, he got married. I don't agree with it. But I mean, but hey, everybody, they all get to that point, it seems like.
But shout out
You
to
don't agree with his marriage?
No, not at all. Absolutely not.
But shout out to him and Tyler, because him and Tyler are goats, and Tyler was also in the game too. Tyler
Yeah, that was
Durden.
that was
he's Tyler
Tyler
Durden.
in his younger days. Yeah, that's when Mystery and all of them was at the top of the game. But we go taking it back, man. That's like early 2000s.
Back,
I mean,
back to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to you. So you were in the gas station. You started doing pickup. I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro. Go ahead and finish your stories and everything like that.
No. I mean, that was pretty much it. Yeah. So I started getting to pickup, and I feel like once you start trying to approach girls, you're meeting strangers. You do that enough times. I feel like if you can talk to like a hot girl, cold, it's a lot easier to talk to anybody at that point.
100%. And then what you also realize too is that a lot of it is just really your own fear in your own head. Like a lot of the times, guys think that, oh, this girl's a 10, she's gonna be harder to talk to a girl than let's say a 7. I say I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't have the courage to talk to the 10.
Yeah.
So if you can come up to the 10 with some sense, girl, and you got to remember they're used to getting attention.
Yeah.
So if you go up to them, it's like they're kind of like, oh, okay, another guy. Hi, how you doing? A 7, she don't know how to act. She put her butt out on Instagram. She get all these likes and all this stuff. And hey, now all of a sudden she thinks she hot stuff. So you come up to her. That's the ones that be like, oh boy, don't do it.
Some of these 7s are disrespectful.
Exactly. that's why I say, hey man, I go all or nothing.
It's funny you say that. I mean, of course, we can talk about the 10 because 10 is subjective. But I found that the women who are the most beautiful actually don't really get approached that much.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, they intimidate most guys.
Mm-hmm.
So guys will go to them on Instagram all day because that's an easy buffer to rejection.
Mm-hmm.
But actually walking up to a 10, making a confident approach, that's a very, very rare thing to actually happen.
And back in the RSD, it was a crew of them. So it was this other guy named his name is Todd. I forgot what he goes by now, but he still coaches dating and stuff like that.
Todd Valentine.
Yeah. Todd.
I've seen some of his.
Yeah, so he was with them back in the day. Yeah,
Okay,
so he was part of that. That was all RSD. He was RSD Todd at one point.
Okay.
But they got into it, so he went back to Todd Valentine dating. But basically, long story short, you start noticing that he always said cold approach was a cheat code.
Yeah.
And if you're a person that can act, especially nowadays, these dudes are freaking awkward as shit. Like if you can cold approach, especially a 10 with some sense, easy money.
Yeah. So, okay. Back to you and your social anxiety and everything. So after college, what'd you end up doing and all that?
So I got kicked out twice. So
Okay,
I got back into college. And while I was in college, I was still doing the whole pickup thing, trying to talk to girls, trying to get better at improving myself. Got kicked out again. And around that time, I was like, okay, this is kind of getting annoying, getting kicked out. Because at this point, up until this point, I wasn't taking college super seriously.
Right.
Sure.
Like I went to college. I'm going to be completely honest. I went to Penn State specifically because it was a party school and because I was socially awkward and I didn't want to be socially awkward my whole life.
Hey, there you go.
So I was like, I'm going to go to party school. It's going to open me up. And then it kind of
Definitely did.
worked out eventually, but not in the way I thought.
And that's one
I
thing.
intended.
Yeah, and that's one thing I definitely want to tell people too. I tell a lot of dudes that's scared to approach females or that want to get into sales or pickup. I said the best thing I could have ever did was when I turned 18, I started club promoting. Because I was not the most ladyfied. You can ask me, I won prom king in high school, but I wasn't. I was social with guys, but with girls, I was terrible. So the best thing that you can do, I always tell guys, if you want to get better with women or just being social, do what you did. You got to put yourself in the environment. Once you start hanging around pretty bartenders and you start getting in clubs you're not supposed to be in and all this other stuff, you start getting around these pretty girls, you're like, you get numb to them.
Yeah.
And and when you get numb to them, you can finally take them off of a pedestal. So it's good that you had the courage to even have that foresight to say, you know what? I'm socially awkward. I actually want to not be socially awkward. Let me go to this place that's going to force me out of my comfort zone. That's crazy. It's good foresight.
So you got kicked out of college twice. Was both of them financial reasons or?
Both were financial.
So like you couldn't afford a scholarship or something like that or?
Yeah. So when I first went to Penn State, it was for an engineering scholarship. So
Okay.
it was paid for initially. And when I was, freshman, sophomore year, I was doing engineering and all the engineers they were smart, like book smart.
Right.
But they weren't, not all, I'm not going to say all, but most were
Sure.
terrible when it came to like actually socializing.
Right.
They also were bad at talking to girls.
Yeah.
They talked about like the most weird things and I don't know. So I was like, I don't want to be around these people my entire life. Because I like, even though I know they're going to get paid, they're going to have money. It's like, do I want money or do I want just a better quality life where I can actually interact and not be seen as
You can
just-
be honest. Do I want money or do I want bitches? Right.
Exactly.
Now?
Yeah,
You can be
exactly.
honest.
Exactly. Because I mean, I feel like you can do both. You can do both.
Right,
But
yeah.
I was like, engineers are. All right. I'm not trying to be like a dick. I'm trying to like.
Nah, so
sensible.
go. Yeah, go ahead.
But it's like, okay, do I want to be that guy who is like smart, but I get like a 6 or like a 5? I'm trying to be like PG about it.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
You know what I mean? I didn't want that. I wanted like hot girls. So
Yeah.
that's why I went to Penn State initially, because it was a party school, because it had a lot of girls, and because I wanted to kind of break out of that
Yeah.
shell, so to speak. But got kicked out twice because I dropped a scholarship to do. I jumped a bunch of different majors, but I ended up wanting to be a lawyer because I figured if I become a lawyer, I can still get the money, but I can also kind of get like some status.
Damn, man, you was all in.
I
Like,
was-
you was like,
yeah.
I want to be social. Like,
No, that was my thing. I was like, I need to
Okay.
be social because I don't know. I don't know why I thought that way, but I was like, yeah, I can get the
that's
status, I can get the money. It's a much better path.
right.
So I did that. Eventually, got back in school, did criminology, graduated, and then took the LSATs. And I was going to go to Georgetown in DC.
Expensive ass school.
Absolutely.
He's an engineer. He can get in.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
So I was like, well, I moved down here. I was going to go to Georgetown Law. And then I was like, if I go to Georgetown Law, I'm still broke. So like, I'm going to take out a loan, be back in school for at least 3 years. And it took me 7 years to leave Penn State because I got kicked out twice. So I was
Right.
like, all right, let's just say,
Did you finish?
I finished eventually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, well, fuck. Hey,
Took-
clap it up.
took
there.
7
We got
years,
that
but-
clap thing. Hey,
Wait, okay. How old? And clap up first. I'm do that.
yeah, man, my man persisted through.
So wait. So how old were you when you actually finished?
23, 24.
Okay, and you went in when?
2010.
Okay.
So I was 17 when I was a freshman in college at Penn State.
Okay.
So you went in a little bit early, technically, because I think most people are like 18 in college. I think for the most part.
Usually.
Yeah. So
I mean, I was
Yeah.
about 17.
were you 17?
I started a little early though.
How old was I?
I started the summer of I didn't start the fall semester like everybody else. I mean, my birthday's in the summer. But anyway. So yeah, okay. And then so after that, so you was about to go to Georgetown Law, and then at that point you said you was at like a crossroad.
Yeah. So I was going to go to Georgetown Law. I was going to start spring semester. It was like January
Okay.
semester.
Yeah.
So my friends were like, hey, before you go to Georgetown Law, come to Virginia. We live in Leesburg. Come just like live with us, split the rent. And then January you can go to Georgetown. I was like, okay, cool. I'm still broke. So I guess I'll work in the meantime and find like some retail job or something just to
Yeah.
pay rent. But I was also trying to get out of Penn State because at that time I was finished school, but I was like partying too much.
Right.
It's just a party school. So you just end up drinking. And my goal was to always like make money and actually accomplish something. I was like, I can't do it here because everyone's just partying. I got to get out of here.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'll move down to Virginia, Leesburg, whatever. Did it. Spent about like 2 months, like August to September or September to October or whatever. And thought about law school. And I was like, do I want to spend like another 5 years of school, take out more loans, going to put me in debt forever? Then I was looking at statistics of like lawyers. And I was like, most lawyers don't even make, like the good ones make a lot of money. And the ones that have like social ties make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But from an hourly perspective, I started doing the math. And I was like, this isn't going to add up. This isn't going to work out for me. I'm not doing this whole dropping out, getting back in over and over again. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to be a lawyer. Told my parents, they were
Disappointed.
needless to say, they were really disappointed. At that point, I was like, all right, let me try something
Like, my
else.
son's a degenerate.
To this day, by the way, they keep saying like, are you sure you don't want to be a lawyer? But yeah. So before I left to go to Virginia, I was trying to figure out like, how do people make money? Because I spent so much of my time in college like broke. So I was like, I need to know how to make money. Started reading books in the libraries, and most finance books I saw kind of said majority of millionaires have real estate. And it's like, okay, so real estate's the answer. I got to get into real estate somehow. And then when I didn't become a lawyer, I figured, well, let me get my license. And then if I get the license, since I know nothing about real estate, because most books, at least that I read, they teach you the concept of real estate, but they don't teach you the game of real estate, like the practical approach, the nuances, all the stuff that you're going to like mess up, which is you mess up a lot because there's a lot of stuff that no one teaches about real estate.
Facts, bro.
So, yeah, got my license, and then that's pretty much one thing led to another.
Okay,
Long story short.
so you're licensed right now in Virginia.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and then so you pretty much right now. So you're selling real estate right now, or you typically just do the podcast? Like how do you split your day up?
Yeah. So now I'm more of a referral agent.
Okay.
So I don't show houses or list them.
Okay.
I just kind of use like a network of realtors, and it's all 50
Yeah.
states. So like if I find someone who might want to buy a house, I just refer them.
Yeah. So you're more so like the middleman.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's cool. So that way it's not taking up too much of your time as well.
Yeah. Because like real estate, I think people think that like agents get paid like millions of dollars just to put a sign in front of the house, but it's like it's a process. You're using your own money to market. You have to pay for like your license, your MLS fees. You got to pay for
The broker.
the broker.
A
The
lot
broker
of
takes
things
a
people
cut.
don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fees that come out of it. Plus, then in my mind, I'm always thinking about like what's the opportunity cost of stuff. And I've had so many deals where you show someone like 10 houses and then they back out. Or I've had like clients where you get to almost a closing day and the lender might do something crazy. Like I had one client where the lender went out of town on vacation. We were looking for him, he didn't respond, and then we lost the deal. And I had spent like a whole summer with that client.
That's crazy. And then when you come to closing costs, some people can't afford the closing costs.
They can't afford the closing costs.
They can afford the house, but they can't afford the closing. It's a process. A lot of things people don't really understand.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm sorry.
No, go.
I was like, if I do referrals, at the very least, I get on the phone with somebody, I tell them the whole process, tell them what to expect, tell them how to like, manage their money. Don't go buy a car, or like don't use credit before closing.
Right.
Don't do anything crazy. Don't mess with your credit. And then at the very least, if the deal falls through, I spent like an hour or two educating you about real estate.
Opposed to a whole summer.
Or like several months. I interviewed some guy yesterday. He's another real estate agent. He spent a whole year doing this deal, and it just closed like last week.
Man.
But imagine he did that whole year and he had like 1 or 2 clients and that fell through. That's a whole year's worth of business.
It is
gone. So I was like, I need to use my time better.
There's better ways. Because at the end of the day, money's not even the enemy, it's time.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I always tell people this: if I gave you $2,000 right now, is that a lot of money? Maybe for some people, $2,000 on the spot. Okay, cool. But if I give you $2,000 over 2 weeks, is that a lot? For some people, maybe. If I give you $2,000 over 6 years, is that a lot? No. So time is always the enemy. Time is the deciding factor above everything. So if you're not using your time well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely, you got to get the most bang for your buck. I'm with you on that.
So Lenny, what goes through your mind when you basically spend all your time, energy trying to close a deal, and then the deal falls through? Because I'm not going to lie, that shit is heartbreaking and breaks a lot of people. People can't take like investing so much time in something and it falling through. Because I'm not going to lie, that messes with my psyche sometimes too. Like, let's just say, for example, with this podcast, like the reason people aren't really big on YouTube as they could be, because you spend so much time editing videos, finding thumbnails, trying to find a topic. And a lot of the time, you don't see a return on your investment for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah. So
people can't handle that 6 months of not seeing anything before you even get 100 views.
6 months. Let's be honest, bro. Like I forgot what I was watching yesterday. It was Andrew Tate and Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross had released a video where he was questioning Andrew Tate, and he was saying, bro, like 6 months, and Brandon Carter said something too. Like it used to take 10 to 15 years for a business to come up off the ground.
Yeah.
This whole, even 6 months to a year is still quick compared to like our dads and stuff, 20s and 80s. They really had to fucking put the work in.
Yeah.
So nowadays, but now with TikTok and everything, I mean, 6 months, 3 months is even too long for a lot of people. So they ain't
shit. A week is too long for a lot of people.
So yeah, but I know that's heartbreaking though. But that's part of business. Any business is like that though.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's part of the game at that point. Like if you get into the entrepreneurial game, and I consider real estate as an agent entrepreneurial.
It is. Yep.
You win, you'll lose.
Yep.
You'll lose a lot.
You pretty much you set your own times. How much you get in is what you put in type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I ran into the same stuff, when I personal train and things like that. I still train a couple clients, but not as much as before. But you train people, you try to give people like, a free session here to try to like, display your value. Then they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy from you. Then when it comes time to pull out that card, you're like, I've been with this person all month. Let's get it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call you back.
Yeah.
Wonk, wonk, wonk. You like, oh, what the fuck? Man?
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. And for me personally, I would feel like when people mess with my time in that type of case, I feel like violated, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, bro, I wasted all this time. You gave me your word. I thought it was this. Now that's my fault for having expectations. Like you said, part of the game, chalk up to the game. But damn, it's like shit. You really see how people can really be. And it's like, man, when it comes to that money, it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So going back into, you got a question, TK?
Go ahead, bro.
So now getting back into, I guess, how did you like progress, in terms of like with women specifically? Because, like I always tell people, women is a whole different ball game. I always recommend, you put yourself in the environment, which you did when you went to Penn State. But at the same time, you can be in the environment, but when it starts getting to the specifics, speaking to a girl, talking to her friends, actually getting her on a date, taking her home, that's a whole nother ball game.
Texting.
Yeah, texting. So how did you kind of get better with that?
So I'll say this, 2 resources I'd used at the time that I still recommend to this day. This dude, Jason Capital.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, is one of the best pickup dudes.
Yeah, Jason Capital.
Ever. And then there was this podcast called Art of Charm at the time.
Okay, yeah.
And that helped me a lot with just like socializing and trying to like talk to people and body language type things.
Yeah.
But those 2 were like the main resources.
Yeah.
And what I would do at the time is pretty much every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I would just go out to like the bars and practice whatever I learned.
Okay. You go by yourself, or you had like who did you go with?
Mainly by myself.
Okay.
At first.
Okay.
Just because I'd be like, hey guys, want to go out to like the bar on Thursday and talk to some girls? Oh, I'm kind of tired, man.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get like hammered first. Like, come on, because we're trying to practice, man. Let's just go,
Yeah.
like, talk to some girls.
Yeah, it's a game, man. It's kind of just one of the things. It's a lonely journey, It's a lonely journey. You got to be willing to go out there by yourself, and I think that's adamant to your character. A lot of people can't go out by themselves, especially going out to like a bar or something to talk to girls. Very few dudes I know that can do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. When I first started, because I was like scared shitless, I was like, damn, I gotta go by myself all the way to the bar. I'm gonna look like a creep being by myself here. I'm not gonna lie, I would get drunk first, and then like slowly over time, I would try to I would drink like a lot at first, and then over like a few weeks, I'd be like, okay, let me drink only like 3 drinks and then go out. Okay, let me try just 1. Let me be like buzzed. All right, let me just try sober now, and then over time you can do it like sober. But it's still, even to this day, I don't like going out by myself. You get anxiety.
It's nerve wracking, bro. Because I mean, like, first of all, I want to applaud you for even doing it in the first place, because most guys won't even do it at all. But alcohol, man, can be served as kind of a crutch. It kind of makes you a little bit more alive, a little bit more not so in your head, man. So, but once you kind of can progress and do it without alcohol, you're superhuman, bro. Like, all these skills are connected. Talking to girls, sales, self-improvement, it all kind of comes full circle, bro. Because if you can talk to a girl, you can sell. If you can sell, you can probably talk. I'm not going to say that automatically, but
but they're one and the same.
Yeah, right.
And to be honest, I'll say sales for me was kind of worse. Girls was kind of like, when I started doing door-to-door sales, you get your teeth kicked in. They get the fuck off my lawn. I'm like, yo, you're sending dogs on you. I mean, it's all similar.
I was gonna say, I think sales though is, in my opinion, it's tougher.
Yeah,
I think it's tougher because I feel like with girls, at the very least, like you do sales, some dude might try to like bitch you out or something like that. You get like pissed off. With a girl, at some point, it's like, okay, she's talking shit. I don't care. I don't really care at this point. I'll just walk away or talk to another girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
At some point, it's not the same. Plus, like, there's money on the line.
And it's kind of like with girls, it's a little bit easier to kind of depict where you went wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a sale, you can do everything right, and this motherfucker like, man, get the hell off my. You be like, sir, I was just trying to get away. I'm like, sorry. And then, you know what I'm saying? And you could do everything right, and you think, and you're in there questioning yourself, dang. Like, was that wrong? And you know what I'm saying? Those things stick with you, and you're like, dang, do I even want to go like knock on the next door or make the next cold call? Yeah. So I think you gotta have some tough skin for both. Gotta have tough skin for both.
So what you were saying, you think that sales is easier than girls?
I think tougher.
He said tougher.
Expand on that a little bit. I wonder, what's your reasoning for that?
I don't know. I feel like with sales, first is money on the line. So like, if you need money, then you kind of like, if you don't get the sale, then it's like, fuck, now I don't have any money, I'm broke. Now it's getting to stress me out.
Yeah. And I'm a loser based on what this person just told me.
Yeah. I feel like with girls, like, say you go out to like a club or a bar, you talk to a girl, she says no. Okay, I'll just go talk to like the next girl. It doesn't, to me, it's easier to like distance myself, maybe because I've done it. I don't know. But I feel like with sales, you go to a door. First, you go up to the door, then you're nervous because you're like, I feel weird even knocking on somebody's door, because it's weird to knock on someone's door.
No,
you don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who the person is. You don't know if they're going to like pull. Like, it's just, I feel like there's more that can go wrong that could be like dangerous, or I don't know. With a girl, it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? She'll get mad and tell me to like fuck off, and then I'll just, okay, bye. I'll just go talk. I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. It doesn't really make a difference. Maybe she'll throw a drink, but I've never had that happen.
No, that was when I first thought that was extreme, because I used to be doing like pickup lines and all this other crazy shit. Just it was crazy. Now that was wild. But yeah.
And I think the rejections just make you better on both ends because, like,
If you can stomach it.
bro,
Because that should be hard, bro. You be sitting there like second guessing your life. What did this person just say to me?
but that's why most people don't do it though, bro. Because especially girls can really be, they can be some hard asses, man. Because you'll go up to a girl and be like, you know what? I got the perfect line in my head. I'm about to go up there, confidence, chest all out. Next thing you know, you say it to her, the girl look at you like, what the fuck is this thing talking to me?
Too short.
And then walk away. You be like, God damn, am I that ugly? And like, bro, it just messes with you, which is why most guys don't do it. But like, what pisses me off about it, most girls, like we were saying, most girls are more terrified of rejection than dudes are. And if that happened to them, it would break their self-esteem for the next 3 years.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we gotta shake it off because we're the guys, and it's our imperative.
You
to
just
do
told me
things
about a
like
story
that.
the other day when you said somebody, I didn't even remember it. You was like 6 or 7 years ago, somebody had wanted my number or something like that. And,
Oh, yeah.
and I said some messed up stuff. I don't even remember me even saying that.
Yeah.
But that was like 7 years ago. I would have forgot that.
Yeah, let me kind of go into that real quick. So I'm not going to say the girl's name, but a girl that I still talk to right now. So this is when Oliver and I were in our really heavy red pill phase.
We was going hard. Like this, like when we first converted. You kind of like, yo, fuck you, bitch. I'm the man. Like you kind of into a lot of
like we were negging and everything. Like we would neg a girl, talk shit about her and things
Hard.
like that. We thought
What's
it
up
was
with your
just like,
toes, girl?
like the best thing in the world. So we were having a party up here and everything, right? And one of the girls that I was talking to, she had a friend who, ironically, I talked to the friend now, and the other friend is pregnant. Whole different conversation. But anyway, the girl comes up to me and is like, "Is that your friend over there?" I'm like, "Yes, my man Oliver. Go talk to him, whatever the case is." So Oliver's sitting over there in the corner talking to some other joint, right? So the girl politely waits until Oliver is done talking to her. And then the girl comes over to Oliver and is like, "Hey, my friend wants to talk to you." So the girl walks to Oliver, right? Oliver looks at her like this. "What, you want my number or something?" The girl was like, "Never mind," and kind of walked away. And mind you, this was like 7 years ago. She still brings it up to this day. And they're gonna be working together, which is gonna be kind of funny.
Yeah, because he told me, he told me, he was like, you know, what's the name, like mad at you, right? I said, for what? He was like, bro, this shit was like 6 or 7 years ago. We had a party and he talked about that. But that just goes to show, like, when girls get rejected, if I can't, I mean, I remember maybe some reject, the drink getting thrown, drink in my face, that's one thing. But like most rejections from 6 or 7 years ago, bro, I don't even remember that shit.
Let me tell you about my worst rejection. Like if I'm being honest, I haven't really had a lot of bad rejections talking to women. You know, I'll get maybe them looking at me funny, maybe them kind of like, you know, ignoring me, things like that. But the worst one I got was from your girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
So Oliver and I had a common interest at one point, right? Oliver got the girl out on a date. He was at an apartment. They was cooking some more stuff, right? So I got a number off for a friendly vibe, just start like trying to work out with and stuff like that. This bitch gonna say to me, "TK, I'm not interested in you. Please delete my number. I don't want anything to do with you." I was like, shit. I was like, God damn.
And seeing at the point in time, me and him, he already know how I do. If he want a certain joint or something like that, I just step off. So we didn't know it was really even a common interest at the time. But then when I heard that she had said that to him, I was like, oh, no, I can't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? But see, but that goes back to the point where you always talk about how dudes act around girls. Like I said, this chick, me and her was on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I was over her crib and stuff. She made me breakfast, all that good stuff, like all that stuff. But when she said that to him, like, no, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, he comes first. You know what I'm saying? Over it, like any of these chicks.
But
because these chicks come and go.
Oliver, I wouldn't have been mad at you for that. Like I really wasn't even trying to get at her like
you
that.
wouldn't have been, but you know how I rock with my integrity, and that's what I'm saying. That's where a lot of dudes, they don't have principles. Even if, let's say, Will, right? Because Will's been in Vegas and freaking, I don't know where the heck you've been, man.
Atlanta,
I don't want to hear it.
Miami.
But
I've been all over the world.
But let's say, because Shattered Illusionz, we're gonna be taking some trips very soon. But my thing is like, let's say we all go somewhere, we have like a yacht party. Will wants this certain joint. Soon as he want it, I don't want her no more.
Yeah.
Even if I did see her, because at the end of the day, to me, I done seen too many things in this game when it comes to like jealousy and envy. Not to say that anybody will get jealous, but it's like I don't even want to take the chance for my boy. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't even want to take the chance. So if somebody don't rock with my boy or something like that, you know, you tell them I'm loyal to them all the way.
I got a question.
What's up?
So your man say, I want Shawty, right? Oh yeah, she look good. I want Shawty. And then she turn around, she want you, right? how would you go about that? Like, and she pressing the issue because my homeboys, we like this. Like, if of course, like what you just said, if you say you like a girl or whatever like that, you feeling her,
Mhm.
I automatically not feeling her or whatever like that. But if she's pressing on to me and throwing it at me like, and it's blatant, it's okay. It's one of them things. Like, go ahead. Like, you can't.
Let me do this. Like I said, for most dudes, like for example, you're saying like if let's say if we went on a yacht and then I wanted a chick, and then you're saying if the chick actually ended up wanting you,
right.
you know what I'm saying? She was all on you. To me, I wouldn't get mad at somebody else for doing that, but I'm saying for me, how I do things, I personally, because I mean, I'm not trying to boost my head, but I get bitches. So it's like at the same time, it's like I don't have to choose this one. To me, it's not worth it. If my man's wanted it, okay, cool. I'd rather just go get another one.
Right.
You know, and that's just how I think about it. I don't think like, oh dang, she's so bad and all this. Man, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like,
I'm gonna answer the question too, bro. These joints be choosing, bro.
They do.
And
They
at
choose.
the end of the day, if I wanted her, but she don't want me, but she want my man, hey, more power to you. Like, it's too many people, it's too many women in the world.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's all about choice. Like, I wouldn't get mad at you if you chose to rock with her, but me personally, if you want her and then she all up on me, we ran into this before, and I've denied about 2 or 3 girls in our friend group that it was like, no, my man's wanted you. No. Even though you want me, I'm like I'm good. My man's wanted you, and they be like, what? They be like, but I want you though. I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, because I had a conversation. I'm the one that was like, hey, look, Shawty doing X, Y, and Z. How you feel about the situation? You give me the go or you give me the no. And like, nah, I want to see what I can do. All right, I'm going to chill. You know what I'm saying? But if you be like, man, go ahead, she for X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to go ahead and go.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to give me the go and the no and for me to do anything. Like, I sit back and I don't even like pursue females when I'm in spats like that because I be wanting to see who they connected to. Like if they in here with a dude or that's just my best friend. Nah, he feeling you a little too much, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, those your girls. Nah, she rubbing on your booty a little too much. Y'all on some little. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I
we'll be
scope out
back
the same
scoping.
So
before I attack. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, ask this man TK. I don't ask no questions. I just attack. I'll be like, this somebody girl? Ain't nobody girl? Okay, cool. Hey, how you doing? He see me do it right in front of a chick. A girl could be sitting down right here. Literally, I'll be like, hey, bro, this your girl? She hear me and everything. I'm this your girl. He'd be like, nah. I'd be like, okay, cool. Hey, how you doing? Bang, just like that.
And the girl's always like, who the fuck is this nigga? Where did he come from?
Hey, bro, you just go for what you want,
but
man.
Look, we getting all subject. Let's get back to Lenny, man. Sorry about that little tangent we went on there, bro.
Hey,
so
man.
I want to ask you this. Talk about the importance of networking and having like-minded individuals around, because I think what's going on now, this kind of archetype of the lone wolf is kind of becoming popular now. But bro, you get so much more accomplished when you have like-minded individuals around you. And I'll just say this before I pop it back to you. With this podcast, I've been able to grow it at a pretty good rate alone. But when I started bringing my team in, like my man Oliver, Will, and stuff like that, things have been going on so much better because I don't have my hands in too many pots. So talk about the importance of networking and also get some tips on how guys can become valuable enough to network with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Networking to me is definitely a huge thing. In my personal opinion, I think when people think about currency, they think a lot about money. And I think a network actually might be more valuable than currency. I've said before, I'll give another example. We were just talking about girls. Say you go to a club, you might want to get a table. You could spend 10 grand, a couple grand, whatever, getting the table, getting the bottle service, whatever. Or if you know someone, they might just let you in. Actually, when I was back in college, I would talk to a lot of people, talk to a lot of managers and stuff at different bars. So go out so much, you just end up eating like the managers and stuff. You go to a bar, instead of me spending money, sometimes you go to the bar, the manager's like, oh, Lenny, I got you, man. Just gives you a drink.
Facts.
Or like this one Starbucks I go to a lot. I end up knowing the manager. He just gives me coffee at this point. But the point that I want to make is you can meet people, and if you network well enough, they might just give you things for free, or you can kind of do something as an exchange. So it even saves you money. So I don't know. Plus, as far as like getting something done, you got to have people on the exact same mindset and the exact same path. I know like several years ago, I was trying to do the whole entrepreneurial thing. I did like drop shipping and stuff too in the past. And everyone around me only wanted to like party and they only wanted to play like Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that, which is fine. Those are all fine things to do. But I don't know. It's easy to get like off track when you're like, hey guys, let's talk about like money or something like that. And they're all like, nah, let's go play Smash Brothers, or let's go out to the bar. Oh, you want to talk about money again? Let's do this other thing. So I don't know.
Then when the new year come, be the first ones, bro. We're gonna be billionaires, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna be billionaires. Super Smash Brothers a month later.
No, exactly. I was literally like in this Instagram group, and like in person, we all talk about like, let's make money, let's do this stuff. And I remember I posted this like house. It was like over the top like mansion, and the caption was, "Who's trying to live like this in 5 years?" And the mansion looked like shit. It was ugly, it was just over the top. But the way I interpreted the picture was, who's trying to like level up so much that you have so much money to just buy a house like this and not have to stress about the money
Bills,
like
you don't got to think about, oh man, do I got enough for it this month? Can I go to this nice place and eat dinner? How much is coming out? Yeah.
And everyone in the group was like, oh, why would you want a house like that? Oh, why would you want this? Like me personally, I like sports cars. And you post like a Lamborghini. Literally, I had friends who were like, why would you want a Lamborghini? Oh, it's not an asset. It's not fuel efficient. It's like, shut the fuck up. I just want, because I want one. Like, how dare you? Yeah, it's like, because to me, the goal is to have so much money, or at least so much access, that you can just have those things and not have to stress about it and not have to worry about it. And I know, obviously it's not an asset.
And this is what people got to get. And this is why I tell people always about Andrew Tate all the time. They say, who spends $4.5 million on a fucking car and shit? I say, motherfucker, he made the money. Like, if there are realities out there where people will never understand, but there's realities out there where you actually do have to spend a certain amount of money, or the tax man going to take it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not saying some people it is 4.5 million, but my thing is, it's like, even if that is his money, who cares if it's a bad investment or not? That's what he wants. If you make the money, you want a Lambo, you want a mansion, you want these shoes or whatever, what the fuck is money for? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The money is to give you access to these things. So it's like, and sometimes where these idiots don't fucking know, a lot of the time when you get like something like a Bugatti, or you get like a Rolex, or you get into, they actually have clubs for these things. So you actually can get up there and use it as a networking tool. But these idiots will never know that because they're so busy. Oh, well, the thing is not fuel efficient, trying to be all about the economy. But then your ass over here, it's crazy. Everybody wants to turn into a motherfucking Greta Thunberg or whatever that bitch name is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? When it talks about sports cars, but then look at the shit that you do on a day-to-day basis. But biggest thing is that some people don't understand a lot of stuff is a networking tool. But even if you just want it just because you want it, if you work for it, you go out there, you get it. Hey, more power to you. I'll never hate on a man for getting whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. But even so, going back to the whole thing about like networking too, even if you want like the sports car, it's probably easier if you know someone who might work at the dealership, or someone who's like got some kind of in with the brand or the
That's
owner.
real.
Whatever it is that you want.
That's real.
Say, for example, even with me, I do real estate. Maybe you desperately want to buy a house. Maybe I like you enough and I'm like, hey, how about I just use my commission and pay like your closing costs, or
right.
I'll use my commission towards your house. So I'm helping you buy an asset.
Right.
Not just me, and it could be anybody. But the point I'm making is that even networking can save you money. To me, it's far more valuable than just trying to collect money, if that makes sense.
And I want to get guys on this too, because a lot of people take networking a little bit too literal, and I'll explain what I mean by that. It's like, I can't email a guy whose time is so much more valuable than mine is, without providing some kind of value, because guys will take this and be like, hey, I can just go email a businessman, ask him to get some coffee. Well, what is the businessman getting for you basically having a relationship with him? You're not getting anything out of it. Yeah. So my whole thing is now is like, whoever I talk to, it's like, how can I provide as much value as possible before I ask them for anything? Mm-hmm. And just kind of talk about that a little bit. Like, how can guys become more valuable to kind of be able to, I guess, be valuable to valuable people? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I would say first, I think value is a bit subjective.
Sure.
So I think you have to first think about what the person might want, like what might benefit them. Some people, if they have money might not be the best thing. Like if you say, oh, I can make you money, some people might be like, well, how much?
I have more than enough money.
I have more than enough money. I don't really care about the money. Like, I don't think you can get me more than I already have. So it's not really that big of a deal. So I feel like you have to kind of sit there and think about this person I'm trying to reach out to. What might they want? Like, I'll give you an example. For this, I wanted to meet you guys. And I was like, what might they want? Maybe they want more guests. Or you guys were talking earlier about girls.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, I know some girls that might be on a podcast. So I'm using that as an example, but I think people should try to figure out, whoever I'm trying to network with, what exactly do they want? It's not always money. For some people, like if it's an engineer, for example, they might be terrible with girls. Maybe you know how to talk to girls. Hey man, I want to talk to you. In exchange, I got some girls that might want to meet you. He might be like, oh, it's not a bad idea. I've been single for a whole year and I'm struggling I've done this before, by the way. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's like, he might be like, I don't know any girls, but this guy seems like he can get some girls. Maybe if I talk to him, we can make an exchange, do some kind of deal or something. I get a girl, he might have access to whatever it is he might want. So
that's actually a fire opinion, bro. Actually, a fire fact, because what I notice about a lot of people, especially old money guys, they're really good at making money, but their social media presence might be lacking a little bit. You say, hey, you know what? Hey, I know that you make a lot of money, but you ever considered Instagram ads, Facebook ads? I can edit your videos, things like that. Just trying to, like you said, basically find out what the person needs, what are they lacking at, and how can I improve that? It's like a business. What's the problem here? How can I solve it?
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. Good shit.
Yeah, and even getting to the point where, like, we're definitely getting into a point where it's all about getting eyeballs, especially for like entrepreneurship and brands and things. And a lot of people say it. They say if you're not the person that can cultivate attention, or if you're a person that really doesn't want attention, get behind somebody and help them. You know what I'm saying? Get attention, because behind every person, behind every podcast, there's always a team.
Yeah.
So even you just getting behind it, that's a good way as an end as well. And just always saying, like you said, what can you bring? So that's good. That's definitely fire.
Go ahead.
Sometimes when people think that value is just, like you said, they think it's just solely just monetary, but what they don't understand is that everybody has some type of gift. You know what I'm saying? It's just whether you actually take that gift from inside of yourself and actually emerge it. So you had to actually work to get good at a skill with women. But that's a valuable skill to a lot of guys. I know dudes that'll fly you out right now. Oh, this dude can get girls. Now we want to have him everywhere with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't get girls. So, we got to have him around, So I've seen that. Then you got some people, what I've seen, I'm an extremely hard worker. And I've seen people just help me just straight up, just sometimes effort. When people see you putting in work, a lot of people, especially when you get to the top of the game, they don't really want anything outside of life. The best thing that they can do is really teach somebody. But what they don't want is their time wasted.
Yeah.
But if they see somebody putting in effort, this motherfucker just doing the wrong thing. All right, man, let me fucking grab him and redirect him, because he works hard and he'll do it, but he's just confused. So a lot of times they get a lot of rewards from teaching as well.
Yeah.
So that and the only thing that I think that attracts that, like I said, is effort. If people see you putting in mad effort, like for example, let's say I want to be an MMA champion, and I say I'm the greatest motherfucker in the world, and I'm in there practicing every day, but my right hook is some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna like a coach that has a better right hook is gonna see me in there every day practicing my shitty hook, and he's gonna be like, bro, calm down. I need you to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Do it like this. He'll teach me. Then he'll know that the way that he taught me, I'm gonna work hard at that. Then he's gonna bring him, man, I know this dude that can help him with his kicks. Then this dude helps me with my kick, but they see the effort. It's the effort that's attracting them. It's not you got a lot of talented guys that have value, but they don't fucking display it. They don't put it out there. They don't put in no effort. So I've seen effort be a huge amplifier for attracting a lot of help as well. And that's why I always tell people, whatever you do, podcast host, whatever, always do the best that you can in anything, because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
So what are some characteristics of a high performer, bro? Especially for a man, because I think we kind of touched on a couple of them in the podcast, because I think as a man, like, there's 4 buckets. You have your spiritual bucket, your financial bucket, your physical bucket, and then your mental bucket. I think all 4 of those buckets need to be as filled as possible. Like, you should have a relationship with God. I'm not saying which God, whatever the case is, but there should be something over you that has a kind of higher power and kind of like let you guide you in a certain direction. As a man, you should be able to make money. Now, I'm not saying you need 25 million, but you should be able to make some level of money. Also, in your dating life, you should be able to meet, talk to, and attract women. And if you want to be married, that's fine, but never lose that skill. And also the ability to sell and market is a big thing too. And also, last thing, not giving up when you're rejected, because we talked about on the podcast, rejection hurts a lot of people. It hurts me still to this day. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, you have to be able to kind of just get past that. You say, you know what? That shit hurt. Where we at next time? So what are some characteristics of a high performer, especially a man to you?
That's a good question. Yeah, I would say definitely mindset. is up there a lot. I'm gonna bring this up. I think to me, when I think about like high performance, I think about just like there's this thing called eudaimonia I always bring up a lot. And to me, it's just like the fulfilled life, the better life. And to me, it's a combination of good health, money, and relationships. And relationships isn't just girls, it's just people in general, like good, having a good social circle.
Like-minded individuals and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think those three things, as you build those up, those are the things that make you a high value individual. And that's man or woman, in my opinion. So I don't know if that
definitely
answers the question.
You definitely answer the question, bro.
Because I think like sorry if I'm rambling on.
I'll go ahead.
Ramble.
But
Sure go.
yeah, no, but I think like sometimes people say like high performer and they just think about money.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, okay, you have a lot of money, but maybe you're like 5'3" and you have no presence, or
You're out of shape. You look like shit.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, now not only you have the money, but maybe your social circle is going to lack too, because people can't take you seriously and they don't know if they don't know if you're as competent as you might say you are. Like maybe you can show money, but then people are like, well, does he have money? Is he like a scammer? Like what's going on?
Yeah, for real.
So I don't know. I think like first it's health. Can you demonstrate that you can actually put in work to improve your body? Because I feel like that's a hard thing to do for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like you can't fake having you can't fake being in good shape, if that makes sense.
Nah.
Like I've seen you on your Instagram. I think you have like a fitness
Yeah.
Instagram. And I'm like, this dude's in shape. You can't fake that. Like you
No.
can tell if a person's putting in work in the gym or if they're not.
Yeah.
The money part's the second part. And I think to me, it's honestly the least important of the three.
Yep.
Because obviously if you don't have health, you don't really have anything.
No.
But if you don't have money, you're going to struggle.
Right.
It's at least that's my perspective. And then the final thing is relationships. You talk about networking. To me, that's probably the most valuable thing besides like the general health.
Sure.
So I think having those three things is what makes someone a high performing individual, male or female.
Nah, that's great. And that's gold, man. That's gold. You know, a lot of people like the thing that I do love about, being in shape and things like that and sales and all that is just you really, really, truly, especially nowadays, you can't fake this stuff. And me and him have spoke about it previous time we've talked about branding. I told him, man, this is going to be the year of like people really going to want to see what you about. Before you could kind of get past, okay, let me read a red pill book and I'm going to start a red pill channel and just be on that shit. Nah, people want to actually see, bro, do you got bitches? Can you actually pick up a chick? They want to see, can you actually demonstrate what you've been saying?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the thing that separates you. Because what's happening now, we didn't got into this whole reading books and everybody, and that's great. But at the same time, we got a whole rack of theory nerds out here that have no application.
Yeah.
And what people are wanting to see going forward, I'm starting to see what they're attracted to. They want to see people that can actually do it, bro. Are you actually making the dollar? Are you actually living the lifestyle? Can you actually go up and get a girl like how you say it's so easy? Can you actually do these things? Like, because you got a lot of fakes out here. And I told him as I've gotten deeper into marketing the past couple of years, man, you notice more and more and more. And that's why I always advocate for people like Andrew Tate, because you see who the real deal is. Like, you can't fake who he is. You can't fake that.
You can't fake a $5.2 million Bugatti.
You can't fake that.
You can't fake being around girls all the time.
You can't.
You can't. He's in good shape. You can't fake being in good shape.
You can't fake a six pack. I was gonna say it. You can't fake that.
Bro. You can't fight. You know what I'm saying? 74 professional kickboxing fights.
Yeah.
You can't fake that. Like those belts
and win.
Exactly. His record was like something crazy. It was like 60 something in like 4 or something. But my thing is you can't fake those things. Those are things that take time to develop. Even being a chess champion. I mean, all that stuff takes time, but those things that they just can't be fake. So the harder you are to replicate, that's what I'm starting to see moving forward. Where people really want to see. They want to see the application. Are you really about what you say you're about?
Yeah.
And that's huge.
And I want you to think hard on this one, bro. And I know we kind of talked about a lot of them, but what's one lesson that you learned in your life that you think everybody needs to learn?
That's a good question.
And take your time, because we can talk for days.
Meaning, here's our sponsor, by the way. It's like,
I'm gonna say the first thing that comes to mind that was a big lesson for me that I think a lot of people don't consider it. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I didn't consider it. It's good to get advice from everyone, but it's best to get the most advice from people either where you are or on the way, specifically where you want to go. And what I mean by that is when I first moved to Virginia, I was still trying to make money. I was still trying to figure out like what money is and how it works. And I would get advice from people, and I'd meet people who were like millionaires or whatever. But the advice they gave over the years, I was like, this advice is good advice. It's just not good for me because what I want out of life is different than with this person.
You were such a nice guy, man. Let me put it. You definitely not a fucking word stuff. You can say that they gave you some shitty advice.
Well, no, so I'm going to say the advice was good.
Okay.
But I'll give you an example. I have a buddy right now. He makes a really good income, owns several properties. He is the kind of guy that likes to just save money. He's the kind of guy he loves, what's the book? Millionaire Next Door.
Mm-hmm.
He loves Millionaire Next Door. He just saves, which is fine.
Good book too, by the way.
It's a good book, yeah, but it's fine. He's like, yeah, I'd rather drive. We had a debate about like cars and like houses and like party and all that kind of stuff. And he's the kind of guy who's like, I like having my Honda. I like having money in the bank. I like my savings. I like knowing it's there, but I don't like spending it. I don't like buying new clothes. If I go out, I don't like drinking. I don't like spending money.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, well, then what's the point of having money? Like, to me, if you're going to have money, you got, I'm not saying be like crazy with it, but spend it. To me, money's meant to be spent.
I agree with that.
So if I were to get advice from him, he gives good advice, but it's not good advice from me.
Right.
Because the thing he wants out of life is not what I want out of life.
That's true. That's true.
Me personally, if I'm going to get advice, I'd rather get it from like Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate lives more of a life that I would probably want to live. Like,
yeah.
But, you know, there's some people too. Like I knew another guy who's a lawyer, and he was all commercial real estate. He's like, buy commercial. Don't even buy residential. Just commercial. Residential's a waste of time. But I was like, you have the same house you've had for like 40, 50 years. He was an older guy. I was like, you've been doing, you're an attorney. You own the law firm, but you're an attorney. I don't even want to be an attorney. And you made your money through working and then eventually owning your own business, law firm. So if I went your route, I'd have to be an attorney. I'd have to work for like 60 years. Then I get the money from commercial real estate, but then I don't spend it. And now I'm like 80. I was like, or it's like people who say like, go to school and get rich. It's like, okay, that works for some people. Maybe that works. But do I want to go to school, get the tuition, take out loans, wait until I retire?
No, that's very true. That's very true. That's very true. Because and that's why I say the only way you really, really know something is you have to live it.
Yeah.
You have to live it, because you can read something in a book saying, okay, yeah, I want that. But you only truly after a while, like for example, me and TK both have, you know, struggled around the same time. We both started reading Rational Mail when we was both 19. You know what I'm saying? At a young age. So let's say me and him both have a certain type of when it comes to like getting girls, but we got two different styles. I'll be up here be like, man, fuck that bitch. Don't hit that bitch back, bro. That shit done. TK be like, bro, they always come back around. Don't even worry about it. I'm like, man, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But we got the same mindset, but just two different styles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he probably more conservative. I'm more of like an aggressive type of like, fuck it. Like you say, even with money, both make very good money, but how we spend is I'm very like, yo, I'll spend 500,000 to make 10 million. You know what I'm saying? I'll spend 10 million to make 100 million. I'm more like an Elon Musk. Like I'll take it all just to go hit that next level. Some people just like, hey, I hit this certain amount, I'm good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And neither one is bad, but everything just depends on your personality, you know, what type of life you want to live. And the only way you truly know that's true is if you just live it. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Definitely. Because like you said, all of it's good advice, but which way you know, because then you got advice like Millionaire Next Door, or you can look like Andrew Tate or like more like the Grant Cardone. Exactly. Grant Cardone believes in spend every dollar. He's like, I don't want it. As soon as he gets money, I don't want it. Like he just throws, how can I spend it?
Yeah. And both work. Both are fine.
Yeah, both work. Both work. It just depends on how much can you take, how much leverage, and what do you want out of life?
Yeah. But the reason why I think that's so important too, what you just said, what do you want out of life? Because I feel like a lot of people don't sit there and think like, what do I want out of life?
Well, they want what other people say that they think they want
exactly
out of life. Like they'll have an image of what a 10 is, and that ain't even their image of a 10.
Yeah.
You know, but they'll think, oh, what's a 10 to everybody else? So I'll go like that. Like, nah.
Yeah. Then they get disappointed if they get close to it or if they actually get it, because they're like, this doesn't feel congruent.
Yeah, they're like, yo, bro, you got a bad thing. But it's like, if that's not your ideal of a 10, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. So yeah, that's very true.
So Lenny, what are some common myths about your field or expertise, real estate in particular? I feel like you touched on a couple of them, a little bit earlier, but just answer that question for me. And take your time. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to say one of the biggest myths that I hear a lot is that real estate's the only way, or one of the main ways to wealth. And I thought about this recently, and I had a debate with a few people, and I would tell people the real estate investing game is good, but it's good for certain types of people. And it's a very long-term process. and I said to people, they're like, yeah, if I get like a house or two, I'll be rich. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I was like, first of all, it takes a lot of time for most people. If you're working an average job or even like a good job or great job, it takes a while to save up enough money for even like a down payment. Then you have to like get the house. Then you have to get the tenant. Then once the tenant's in, you got to make sure you have enough money put aside, which people don't think about because there's vacancies, there's repairs, there's taxes, insurance, all kinds of stuff. So I tell people, like, you think you're going to get a house and have like $1,000 cash flow from one house. You're probably going to have like 200, 300. It depends on where you live, of course.
Sure.
But let's say $200 to $500 cash flow per house. So say you want to make like $5,000 a month passive. You're going to have to buy, my math is garbage. Was that like 10 houses to get $5,000 a month? Is my math right? $500.
That's about right. That's about
You
right.
asking the wrong
I
person.
probably screwed the math up real bad.
No,
Yeah,
but you're
but-
right. But you're right. That's true. You know what I'm saying? That's true. Yeah.
Which is a long process. And if you're not the kind of person who, because for people don't understand, like, you don't just buy the house and then it sits there. Like, tenants don't just come to your house once there's a house. You got to market it. You might have to get a real estate agent. You might have to at least put a sign out, put it on Zillow or whatever. So it's work involved. You're not just gonna. It's not
People just think of sell, gone.
exactly
Hey, buy, got this,
Yeah.
boom. It doesn't happen like that. That's true. It's a process.
Yeah. So I say like that's, and for some people that's fine, but it's not the only type of asset you can get. You can also start a business. And I personally think of business, and I'm a real estate agent, so I know it's probably weird. I think a business is better than real estate because a business, especially now, you guys doing like a podcast. The podcast might take a year, 2 years, 3 years to blow up, or it's doing good now. But let's say you guys get like 1 million on YouTube. You guys are making a lot of money from it. It's a better asset, one, because it's in the comfort of your studio.
Right.
Yeah.
So, which is nice. You can control it,
Right.
which you can't always do with real estate because of zoning and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Not a lot of upfront costs, not dealing with no banks.
Exactly. You can't really fail as easily. Real estate, even if you're paying the mortgage, if the bank suddenly starts to go crazy, they can pull a Grant Cardone and be like, hey, you know what? Even though your credit's good, even though you got assets, we're going under. So fuck you.
Exactly.
Pay us.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, I haven't done anything wrong. It doesn't matter. We did something wrong, but we're going to put it on you because
Yeah.
we can. And it's like,
See you later.
yeah. So like a business, you got more control over.
Man.
If you guys want to. You guys have a very nice setup here. But let's just say you found like let's say you found a way to like pack it up and maybe you want to go to like LA or Miami or something like that. You can move. You can be like geographically
Sure.
independent for the most part.
Yeah,
with the
because
podcast.
and I think that's the difference too. A lot of people don't understand. You have the actual business, and then you actually have the brand.
Yeah,
The brand moves anywhere.
exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Like you said, the businesses can be out of this location, that location, but the key thing that people following now is the brand. And so I
Exactly.
agree, putting more into I say a brand, especially influential brand. I mean, I think that's definitely good because who's gonna replace you?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Once you got your audience, who replaces you?
yeah. So I mean, I think that's one of the biggest myths about real estate that I try to counter. Like,
Okay.
real estate's good. Real estate has its upsides, but I think most people they think about like real estate and they think of passive income. I'm gonna be rich.
Well, do you think that happened because most people haven't evolved in thought? Because let's be honest, if this was the 60s or 70s, that probably would be the best way.
Yeah,
But now with the internet and stuff over the past 10 to 20 years, maybe they just haven't evolved in their thinking. Do you think that's what it is? Or you think it's always kind of been other routes that you could take besides real estate even back then?
yeah. I mean, I think there's always been other routes. I think nowadays some routes are easier than others. Like, I
Okay.
think back then real estate might have been easier. Like, you could have been Jeff Bezos and tried to start Amazon, but then there was like really no. I mean, I guess it was like the 90s when you first started, so it was internet, but it wasn't the same as now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to like worry about.
And you ready to put 20 years in? Like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know if it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
So I mean, real estate might have been easier because the house back then anywhere could have been like 50, 100K. Your wages was like 50K. So it wasn't as bad. Nowadays,
And you start kind of making passive income almost immediately. If you get like a 4-unit, maybe not, but if you get like you got the money to get like a 16-unit, 18-unit, especially in a good area that has low vacancy rates, you're
Yeah.
making passive income. You're buying income. You're basically buying income at that point.
yeah.
So yeah, no, that's true. It might have been the easiest one. That's true. Any other myths that you've seen? Oh, that's like the biggest one.
I think that's the biggest one.
Okay.
None really.
So you mean to tell me that your house is not your greatest asset?
I was about to. Yeah, I was gonna say the house is definitely. I'm gonna say it depends. I think for a lot of people, the house is the greatest asset because I think a lot of people just don't invest anywhere else. So it's better to have a house that at least you can get. At least it'll appreciate and you have equity in it,
maybe you might appreciate it.
maybe, yeah.
Because you got to think, if let's say if you bought a house in 2008, you know what I'm saying, right before the crash, you lost and you bought a house for 500,000. Your shit just crashed. Now your house is now worth 375. It'll go back up eventually if you stay there long term.
Yeah.
But if you plan on selling with the next 10 years, I mean, you down like 50K.
Yeah.
At least.
So I want to ask you this too, bro. What other business ventures do you want to try in the future? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Are you going to stay in real estate? Are you going to branch out, make your podcast bigger? What you going to do, bro?
So I'm trying to get in everything. That's honestly my goal. Like restaurants,
Get them.
car wash,
Get them.
whatever I can get my hands on. I'm trying to
Get 'em.
put Leviticus on. But yeah, no, real estate's definitely not going to be the main thing. I'm trying to get into a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm actually coming out with a card game.
You talk about that, bro. Go ahead.
So I'm coming out with a game called Drunk Questions. It's kind of like I call it the most not safe for work party game ever. That's what that's kind of what I'm.
Is it already made? Like you got it already made?
I have a what's a good way to put it? Like an MVP, minimum viable product.
Okay.
I have like an actual card deck now. It's just one.
I was say, bro,
But,
we run this joint on the podcast.
Yeah,
we get
bro,
the girls on here.
definitely.
We'll play that shit next week.
I mean, I got a free version online if anyone wants to
Hey, bro.
play it. It's on my website. If you want to
send it to us, but we want to support you too, bro. So when you actually have the actual product out there, make sure you send it to us. We'll buy it from you. We'll plug you and everything on the podcast, bro.
I'd give you guys one for free, honestly. It's coming out in March. So when it comes out, if you guys want to play, I'll send you guys.
No, we will play it. We'll play it. We'll play it.
We appreciate it, but we gonna pay for it though, man. We gonna make sure
Oh
we
yeah,
show love.
yeah,
to
bro.
people
We
and
not.
show
We
love
not.
to
At the end of
bro.
the day, we entrepreneurs over here. You know, I always tell people this is one thing that, and I see it with Black community. Everybody always trying to look for a fucking freebie. You don't ask the white man for a freebie, but then, but I'm just being honest. But then you want to come to your brother. He have like a crab shop. You know this man working hard, and you like, hey, brother, let me get a couple crabs. Like people don't understand. Like if you don't pay this man don't eat. And I forgot who. I think it actually might have been Jason Capital. You vote with your dollars on what you want to see. So if I want to see my friend win, bro, I'm gonna pay full price.
Yeah.
I might even give extra. You know what I'm saying? Because I want your business to succeed. Why am I going to sit up here and I pay this man over here that I don't even know, Balenciaga or one of these other pedophiles? You know what I'm saying? Like I sit up here and I paid him full price, way overpriced, you know what I'm saying, for some shit. But then I can't pay you, you know what I'm saying, $20 for some crab legs. Yeah. Like I'm trying to skimp over on that. So nah, bro, we pay full price and we make sure we'll pay you even fucking double because at the end of the day, we all entrepreneurs, we all gonna make it, you know, and we gotta vote with our dollars. So you're doing a great thing. You're going to put the money in a good place. So we're going to transfer that to you. So let us know when it's out. We will play it on the show.
So we done with your business ventures and all that you want to do?
Yeah. I mean,
car washes, restaurants, card games. I mean, man,
I'm not going to lie. My whole brain is like just work. I like to just do stuff. So it really doesn't matter what it is. I just want to like get into it. I'm serious.
No, I feel you. I'm the same way.
I told this guy the other day, he was like, what do you want to do like for the next couple of years? I was like, I don't plan on ever retiring. I plan on working until the day I die. I know that for some people that sounds weird, but it's like, no, I like to work.
Bro, I literally say that every day. People be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? That's real.
Yeah, like, so yeah, like meeting Virginia. I'm trying to get like Northern Virginia people, maybe DMV people in general, but at least now Northern Virginia people, hopefully you guys, even though it's in Maryland, hopefully we'll make an exception. Hopefully you guys can join the show. I've been trying to get you on the show and I've been flaking. So I take personal accountability.
I was about to say,
I'll publicly say on the podcast, I take personal accountability. I've been flaking. So that's my bad, but it's in public. But I definitely, that doesn't mean I don't want you on the show. I want you on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, podcasts. I'm looking into like restaurants and stuff like that. How to do restaurants, which is a crazy industry.
And let us know how we can help you, bro, because we're, like I said, we show love to those that show love to us, bro. And now that you're a part of our network, man, anything that we can do to help you, man, just let us know.
And bro, we're gonna be running events and stuff like that too, you know, in the upcoming year, definitely by 2024 for the podcast and things like that. So you got any type of place or anywhere that's a hot spot that you know, hey, y'all, I'm opening up this place or I'm investing to this restaurant, let us know. We'll come in, buy a table, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Get like, you know, maybe 10 to 20 people. Make sure that you get that money. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather, like I said, opposed to taking everybody to Roof Chris, if my man got a restaurant over here, I'd rather give you that money. Yeah. And, you know, that's how we think over here. So anything that you say, closed mouths don't get fed. Make sure you put that out there.
We'll do. So before we shut down, bro, what's one question you wish I would have asked you? How would you have answered it?
What's one question I wish you would have asked me?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Something that you would have liked to maybe elaborate more on. Women, money,
Game frame.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Don't be bashful.
If it's nothing,
You guys put me on the spot. That's a good question. I don't even know. That's honestly like when people ask questions, I just kind of I never come in like.
What's one thing that you wish people knew more about you? That you feel like you really don't get a chance to express often?
I feel like people don't ask me about like, I don't know. People don't really talk about philosophical stuff. And I feel like that's the thing I like to talk about, probably more than like anything financial or anything like
stoicism and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I'll sit there and like, I'm bad with this. I'll sit there and have a debate with people about like religion or philosophy or just like even how societies function, history, stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's one of those things people never really, I shouldn't say all people, but a lot of people don't really talk about.
No, you can say it because they're too emotionally immature. Because what happens is that no, seriously, because you'll try to have a conversation with them and then they get all in their feelings, or people act like that you can't have a disagreement about something and still be friends afterwards. It has to be, I hate you because you think differently than me and all this other shit. So no, you're right.
And they always say don't talk about politics, religion, and another thing, but that basically can cause the best of friends to become enemies. And I'm not saying that we would do that because we're open-minded down here. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Let's have a conversation about it. But I would just advise talking to the normies about that. That's a
well, you just have to be mature. You just have to be mature and just understand that who in the fuck literally like agrees with everything that someone else says. There's gonna be differences, and just because we have differences, that don't mean we can't be friends. That don't mean we can't be brothers. Don't mean we don't gotta like each other. We can have a difference of an opinion, but you have to have those conversations. That's true with extremely mature people, and a lot of people are not mature, and a lot of people just don't like to think. They rather just be mindless and sniff coke and shit all day.
So I think honestly that's 99% of people. They just don't like to think. Like, don't get me. I mean, that's a thing where I get like heated about, but. I'll give you an example. I don't know how long the podcast is.
Bro, run it.
We've been debating the whole, like, we've been talking about Andrew Tate, the whole Andrew Tate, in Romania prison thing. And I get heated about that because I did criminology back in college, and we would study cases, and you'd see cases where like someone gets an accusation. And to me, it's always interesting how people are so quick to be like, he got arrested, therefore he did it. I was like, do you know how many people get arrested or accused of stuff all the time and they didn't do it? You know how many people like cops will just like frame you, or I don't know, that stuff gets me heated. So I get like I'll debate people or like talk about it and they just insult you, or
they'll try to demoralize your character. You're an ops, you're a white boy, or they'll try. I have people tell me I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like at the end, I don't, because at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like we just have to, especially where sometimes with women, I see it a lot of times. If something happened to one of our black queens, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, no, we have to listen to her and make sure we understand if that happens to a Nick. Girl, take them in. Run them for everything you worth, girl.
But we're going to the place now where there is no due process. Accusations are facts, and it's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until you're proven innocent.
And facts are obviously feelings, and apparently, it's about my reality, not the reality. My reality.
I want to go ahead, bro. My bad. I made a joke about this earlier with some friends, and I always find it funny when like you see let's use Andrew Tate again. You see Andrew Tate, he's at a party, he's like 6 girls. People are like, oh, he must have done something to get the 6 girls at the party. He must have sex trafficked them. And I made a joke and I was like, this is some cop I saw in the news or something. I saw like memes about her. She like hooked up with like a bunch of these cops. And I was like, oh, so what did she do? Did she do like some vivacious vixen method to lure these 6 police officers to bang her? Because I'm keeping it real. She's kind of mid. She's
mid tier.
You're being nice, but go ahead.
I'm trying to be nice.
She's a 2.
I didn't say it.
I did.
But I was like, no one makes that accusation. No one thinks that, even though it's wacky and these guys give up their career. They did it.
Well, let's just look at
giving them.
Let's just look at the instinct of people. Any dude that's, of course, like an Andrew Tate, but don't even got to be him. Any dude that's out here that pretty much gets bitches, or you're an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Someone like that. And, it's a lot of dudes that I know that may have a lot of women around them, but dudes get to saying, oh, is he gay? Oh, nah, he ain't really that dude like that. They'll just start throwing all these random accusations, but deep down, it's because they know that they secretly want to be that, but they either not willing to put in the work or they don't have the skill set to do it. Yeah. So they rather just say, oh, let's hate on him. Let's say he's a misogynist. Let's say he hates women. They'll say all this stupid shit. And apparently in this day and age, everything is true because my feelings say it's true.
Yeah.
But Lenny, bro, this has been amazing.
Incredible.
You're welcome on the podcast at any time, bro. You want to go ahead and plug all your stuff before we shut down?
Yeah. I would say best place for people to find me. Website's probably the best place to find everything. LennyRichardson.online.
And that's also where you can find a card game currently, right?
Yes. Yep. It's on there. If you want to play the card game, LennyRichardson.online.
Well, see if you can write that down and we can try to see if we can do that card game.
Yeah, that's LennyRichardson.com if you want to play the card game /drunk-questions.
Okay.
And then Instagram, Leviticus Rich. I got a new Instagram now. I'm trying to like build up because I think my old one got shadow banned. So I'm trying to build up the new one. The new one's official Leviticus Rich. So
yeah,
that's the best place to find me.
Okay.
Awesome, bro.
Cool. Any upcoming events that you want to have, like any upcoming shows or podcasts or things like that you're excited about that you got planned?
Besides getting you guys in the podcast,
hey,
at some point,
let us know. We'll get it done.
That's pretty much it. Nothing super special.
Okay.
Cool. Oliver, last thoughts on the show, bro.
That's thoughts on the show, man. It was an excellent show. Happy we was able to get this show done, and it would be great to do it from the other point of view now for us to be on your podcast and be able to bless your platform. So excited for that. Like I said, hey, ladies, if you're interested in coming on the podcast, please hit up. You can either hit Will up, you can hit me, you can hit up the Shattered Illusionz page. Like I said, we're putting a team together. We're coming with that smoke this year. Greatest podcast in the world. Boom. TK.
Yes, sir. And again, Lenny, bro, thank you for having your time down here. Will, welcome back. Good to have you back on the platform.
Yes,
bro.
Will. Welcome back, Will.
Hey, look, man, I'm telling y'all, Shattered Illusionz be coming full force this year. 2023 is our year. But as I always say, that'd be like all our time to the next time. Kill the fantasy, build the dream. Shattered Illusionz podcast. We are out of here. Love y'all, boys.
Well, I take him to the cranky. Yeah.